For years and years, Minecraft has provided us with blocks. Many blocks. Maybe too many blocks. Well, guess what? I got one. Just one block. And we're gonna survive on this block for at least 100 days. And no, this is not like every other one block video on YouTube, meaning it's ever so slightly different. Just like the way I think is ever so slightly different to any normal functioning human. But what will we create? What kind of problems are we going to run into? Well, all of them. But here we go. Now you might notice I'm not on hardcore mode because I couldn't edit the world file for whatever reason, because the pre-made world is not hardcore. So I will simply start over if I die. Day 1 I surprisingly found myself stranded in space with one single block under my feet. Should have seen this coming in all fairness. So I had to do what all of us are expecting anyway. I dug at the dirt for a while. A little expansion and back to digging. So unlike the other one block mod, this one has a slightly different array of blocks and phases to the block. I wasn't prepared for anything out of the ordinary, so here's a trader. Seemingly, I was a bit nervous he would push me off the edge. Just look at his eyes for a second. We don't know his intentions. Crazed killer, peaceful villager? Man, who knows? I'm glad he wasn't there to murder me though, so I traded my hard-earned wood for 2 pieces of iron. Of course, not enough for a pickaxe, but who needs those anyway? We unlocked leaf blocks, so that's helpful. Time to grow some trees. At one point, I got paranoid enough to build a makeshift jail for my trader friend. Couldn't take any chances. Just as we were heading into the depths of the night, another fella joined us. I'm guessing this one is the less important of the two, because by his name, it seems he's just visiting. At the time, I didn't think about that, so I thought I'd have these friends of mine around forever. I was very wrong. He offered a bunch of interesting trades that didn't seem too enticing, or rather, I was too poor for any of them, but I managed to snag a little cherry blossom. Unknowingly, this tree type would become my entire personality for the next 99 days. And so I caged the second one up as well. Slaving away into the night, another big boy trader appeared from the heavens. This one offered great treasures. Again, too broke for most of these, but I'll take some of the bone meal and grow these trees of mine. Also finally put 2 and 2 together to figure out that when one of these one block main character traders spawn in, it's the beginning of a new phase of the block, giving me different beautiful blocks. And finally I got to do some actual mining. Yay for me.
Another day, another victory for the OG.
We began an even further expansion on the floating island. As a Minecraft veteran, I also had the very bright idea of turning the leftover saplings into bone meal, because the greedy traders didn't want to give me much to work with. Using all my brain power, I figured using cherry blossom trees will give me the most saplings per tree. Math and stuff. Good news, we also got 2 eggs. Obviously the next step should be to dedicate my entire time to constructing a chicken pen, while also destroying everything I built up to this point because it didn't look appealing enough to me, so I made it all pink. But don't worry, some advancements were made, like burning lumber and finding yet another friend.
Hello.
See, at surface level this seems like a great thing, but not long after I noticed I lost one of my previous friends. This new guy sold carrots, that's pretty cool, and did some business with him. Can you guess if these 2 eggs gave me a chicken? Just guess, just take a wild guess. Well, guess what? You guessed wrong. Oh, and all my traders disappeared, so I was once again left to my own devices. Cold, scared, and all alone in this vast open space. But day 3 came with good news for us. Our friend is back from heaven with some absurdly expensive deals that I shall not take whatsoever. But now I can find iron to mine. A win is a win. So yeah boy, kept mining of course until Mr. Visiting Trader came back. I'm not sure where they go, but it seems they can't get enough of offering me the worst deals known to man. Granted, this guy had some good stuff in here. That said, 4 minutes later I encountered the scariest thing for any Skyblock player, a thunderstorm. Now I'm not really sure if being the only thing floating in an endless void increases the possibility of getting struck by lightning, but again, I can't take any chances, so I built myself a disgustingly pathetic cobble shack. Also made a cauldron to get rainwater so I can make a nice little water source. After another exhausting mining period, there was once again an exchange of traders. I had pretty much given up on trying to jail them, because it seems they can escape from anything I put them in, so I bought some potatoes. But this is why they deserve to be jailed up. Bro is walking all up in my personal space, and I can't deal with that right now. I've got enough stress as is, so jailing him as we speak. This fella spawned on top of my tree, which was funny, but nothing compared to where these guys are going to start spawning later on. Anyway, I built up to him just to buy pumpkin seeds, which we will literally never use in these 100 days. Also, for like the first 30 days, you'll see me completely not using a mod I had installed that was meant for cutting down trees pretty much instantly. And now watching this back, it makes me cringe so much that I can't even explain it. Oh, and I murdered him in cold blood. Pretended like nothing happened and started farming the same carrot crop over and over again. Not something that one does in real life, but good thing we don't know what real life is like. Alright, this island is starting to annoy me, so let's just completely deconstruct it and make it better. Okay, seriously, someone please tell him he's cutting the wood wrong. Like, this hurts to watch. Day 5 was pretty much spent building a pink floating ship in the sky. It looks too much like a ship now. Well, I'm not good at architecture, so it is what it is. 15 cobble for 4 iron is insane. You, sir, are really from the heavens above. Okay, I get it. You like that I traded with you. Please stop watching me dig. Sir, I can't let you get close. The visiting scammer was offering sand and a bucket of water with a fish. You know I had to have both. This water I can most likely use to create an infinite water source later. Very cool. 2 new discoveries on this day. Moss is much better for creating bone meal, and you can make actual windows. I know they don't look great, but try explaining that to me back then. I was so set on using these for no good reason. Will never forgive myself for that. That is for sure. Added a few chests and furnaces. Feels almost like home. But this one doesn't smell, so it's not really like home. My trader spawned on the roof, so after getting him down, I was expecting good trades. There were not. There were no good trades. Day 6 is also the first time I realized if I don't need a certain trader, I can pretty much get rid of him. The rest of the day was an effort to make the spaceship look symmetrical. So I made the exact same type of thing on the other side of my main quarters. This little loser offered me lava for very reasonable materials, but not a single mob has been able to spawn on my half-slab only platform, so I didn't get the lava. Was I upset? Yes. Was I going to do something about it? No. I did, however, buy as much obsidian as I could for a nether portal. You'll see how all that pans out a bit later. And I mean, 4 pieces of obsidian really isn't going to get me there. But hey, at least the block was giving me gold and redstone. That's good. I have a feeling these dudes are plotting an assassination on me. Look at him just standing there. He's just standing there menacingly. It's insane. I already have carrots. I don't need terracotta. See, I did need that terracotta though, for something you couldn't even imagine, but I digress. At some point, I got so desperate that I tried to breed the 2 traders. Guess it didn't work, even though they happily took my food. They just yoinked it and left me to starve. Like, who does that? Every last piece of my food, man. And for the rest of the day, I made an effort to collect a bunch of pink wood. Finally figured out you kind of have to keep hitting the bottom block of the tree until it breaks, which makes the whole tree, with its leaves, disintegrate. I just kind of stood there looking, and I couldn't believe it. This whole time, I've been doing it wrong. Finally, it was time to do what literally every Skyblock player ever has done. Building a mob farm. But see, I was going to be different. My mob farm is going to be twice as small. Why would I ever think that's a good idea? Lord have mercy on my brain. Why do I come up with these ideas? I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, that's pretty much what I did for the next couple of days. It took a whole lot of wood, like a bit too much wood. But I am what you call a lumberjack, my friends. Day 9, bro. Freaked me out. Nothing that I even wanted here, to be honest, by the way. But you can't just not trade. He looks like he knows where my family lives, so I better at least take the yellow dye. He scared me a bit too much, though. I can't lie. And then, I made him and his llamas disappear. For the rest of the day, I kept building the mob farm. Pretty simple design. Your grandma could make this. On top of my unfinished mob farm, I found the remains of a skeleton. This obviously means our mob farm might actually function the way it's supposed to. This, in theory, should be the only spot on my island the bad guys can spawn. For now. Oh, and I lost one of my water buckets by placing a torch on the source. A sad day for us all, but all it took was to look up how I could make water. Turns out clay just equals water now. So, like, this makes so much sense, of course. Like, why wouldn't it? It almost hurts my brain how much sense this makes. I can't hate, though. This means I have pretty much infinite water whenever I need, and I don't have to beg for mercy every time a trader appears. Just in case, though, I made a pool to have water nearby, because I just love water. Day 11 marks one of my biggest purchases ever, an axolotl. Very expensive, but that's my new best friend. He's gonna live in the chest for now, though. I don't really have a spot for him. So I also was hoping to not see any creepers as I was going up to my mob farm, and just as my luck would have it, there he was. And then when I got too close, he started bobbing back and forth while approaching me. Weird little fella. Really weird. Then a trader pissed me off a bit too much, again, but as you can see, our mob farm is coming along nicely. I even went to the lengths of making a bazillion trapdoors. If you didn't know, having open trapdoors gives the enemy pathing a chance to end up on said trapdoor, and since of course it is open, not closed, they pretty much fall into the water and get delivered to the drop chute, as I like to call it, and they drop all the way down. Simple as that. First diamond sword too, and a storage system for all the mob items I'm about to get. Things are really looking up for us now. Right, so finishing the roof of this mob farm is very much on the agenda, and it takes quite a bright mind, like my own, to decide to do the roof in a checkered pattern using oak and cobblestone. 2 blocks that somehow don't fit in with the surrounding blocks whatsoever, like not even the slightest bit, but nonetheless, I spent the entire day doing just that. Now, when all was said and done, all we could do is sit here and wait for the hordes of mobs to start dropping in. Oh, right, I forgot. I built half of a mob farm, yeah. Well, I guess this isn't going to be the most efficient one, but it'll do the job, right? Surely. Okay, well, at least it works, and I finally have an infinite supply of bones and sugarcane? Who dropped sugarcane? Like, who dropped the mushroom? Take a shower, get some help. I'm like, geez. Sometimes me and you, we gotta celebrate our success in life, you know? So I had to craft a full set of diamond armor to stunt on my haters and flex on the broke Skyblock boys. On day 14, I made a few interesting discoveries. Number 1, my mob farm is also a music disc farm and a very annoying sound generator. Number 2, water doesn't flow away from a half slab. I don't know why. And number 3, I have a crippling addiction to expanding my island. Then I spent an entire day just putting down slabs and singing Christmas songs. What more can I do? Maybe all I want for Christmas is you. Had the brilliant idea to make a carrot farm. One might ask why. I thought that'd be important, but please refrain from asking such questions. Carrots are good for you, and you know it. Remember the whole half slab water thing? Yeah, I used that. Why? Who knows, but it looks interesting. Next day I finished my carrot farm. I did get sort of tired from running back and forth for water, so I just crafted a bunch of clay into water because, as we previously discussed, that just makes so much sense. Turns out gold helmets look like crowns in this mod, and that is cool. Hey, I got my first zombie villager who I can't heal because I have no access to the nether or any spider eyes. Woo! I was doing so much blue collar work, I forgot I was playing Minecraft. Pretty sure I left my computer for about 5 minutes while having my mouse button pressed down by the microphone. Guess who came back to offer me nothing again? Bring the other guy back. No, that's it. Oh, he's on the roof. Hello, my friend. Never mind, you're useless. But you know what? I was finally finding ancient debris. Very exciting. It's about time to make some better armor. I'm not sure what happened to the recording of day 18, but I listened to some peaceful music and decided to expand my little farm again. I crave expansion.
Oh, how I crave it.
And done. You know, it took me like 7 minutes to figure out how to connect the farm to the walkway. It's really embarrassing. I'm sorry. Suddenly, I felt the overwhelming feeling of my mob farm drop chute sticking out like a sore thumb, so, you know, we must make it blend in. And oh, it took me so long, because one side, I sort of just placed blocks and not really think about it too, but when it came to the other side, I had to mirror everything, but that was such a painstaking process that it literally took the entire day. Keep in mind, this entire time I was listening to the symphony of a million mobs stacked on top of each other, making their own noise. I won't make you listen to it, but take my word for it, it was dreadful. Who likes torches anyway, right? Not me, not us. Had to make the mob farm look a bit more like a jail so no one gets the wrong idea here. I want to make sure people think I'm keeping them in captivity. I also found a wand that supposedly helps you build. Did it help me build? No. Was it confusing? Yes. Am I going to use it ever again? Also no. On day 22, my hopes and dreams were crushed into little pieces. It turns out I'm playing on the newest update of Minecraft, meaning that to craft myself a shiny set of netherite armor, I actually need the netherite upgrade smithing template. Which, by the way, I have no way of getting. Well, at least to my knowledge so far. I could be very wrong, but I like to think I'm never wrong. But I'm not just gonna sob in misery and just let the world break me down. I'll make the best of the situation. So I just took the smithing template I had, which was just an armor trim, and used that to pimp out my diamond armor. Not all of it though, because I only had one. I needed the other one to replicate him. Here's a spoiler. Turns out in this mod, there's something better than diamond armor, by the way. So that's nice. That is so very nice. I'm glad I found that out literally like 60 days later. After a bunch more digging, I did some trading for beehives and yet another axolotl. And I also acquired all the sand that man was offering because I have yet another brilliant idea. See, why have no glass roof on my build when I can have a glass roof on my build? Some people really envy my creativity and it shows. Like this guy. That's what happens to haters. Yes, it was once again an absolute struggle making everything look symmetrical. that should come as no surprise. Righty, so now here's me ripping up the floor because I have ADHD and the floor looked very up-rippable. Gave it sort of a checkered pattern, something that was in fact very important for me to do. Yes, there's nothing else I should be doing at this point in these 100 days. Remember how I didn't trade for any of that terracotta? Yeah, well, that's exactly what I needed to duplicate my smithing templates with. And I dedicated all of day 26 to mining until a trader would give me some of it, so it didn't happen. Also, I hate myself for this, but when you start thinking about what I can and cannot naturally get on this island, flint comes to mind, since, of course, I'd like to visit the nether. And well, the only way I would ever get flint is by getting either flint itself or gravel in a trade with a villager. At the time of me killing this trader, it didn't really cross my mind. All I could think about is terracotta and how I had to get all the way up above my mob farm because that's where he decided to spawn in the first place. So obviously I was pretty upset. So I just mined and mined and mined. Got a few visitors, but none of them quenched my thirst for terracotta. But I bought another axe lol, cause 3 of them is a party, right? This guy I spared from my axe, but not the void. But look at the excitement when...
Oh, he has the thing.
After a little more mining for some ancient debris, finally I could look pimpin' with my sweet netherite trimmed diamond armor. I'm also very much starting to despise the trip I have to make every time a visiting trader spawns above my farm, and most of the time it is not even worth my effort. This was not one of those times, so I purchased with my hard-earned money 2, count it, 2 cows. He promised he'll only bring them next time he arrives, so I had to give him a little speech. You better. And 8 seeds. I needed those to get some wheat going as well, so I bought those. I stood there and did not enjoy the view. So here I go trying to dye the glass instead of having it be plain. One small issue is that I did not have anywhere near the amount of sand I wanted to replace all of it. White glass is what I needed here, but I only had, well, this much. On this fateful day, I also reached the final phase of our beloved block. No new blocks are to be expected. Even the important ones like lapis or gravel, nowhere to be seen. A real shame that is. Made some interesting trades again, never to be used by the way. We were finally getting obsidian. Great news, but only now the idea of having no flint and steel really started setting in. However, the cows are here, what bliss. But why are they on the roof? Right, so quickly, need wheat, and put them right here. This should do for now. This gentleman here is offering sheep. I'll make that deal. This is a pivotal moment for us and for these 100 days. You just don't know it yet. And so I cut him up. This will make him come back faster, I assume. I know my assumption is wrong, but I need a motive for my actions. Now we can begin work on our most important farm yet, the animal one. Not sure how else to call it, just a farm for animals and such, you know, so animal farm will do. Had a little trouble figuring out how to do circles in a block game, so this might have taken me a very long time to do. Wanted to make the farm somewhat circular, or at least oval. Okay, well at least round edges. I'm not asking for much here. But I went through so many revisions it made me feel like I was at my corporate job again. And oh, by the way, the goal is to hit 100k subscribers by the end of the next year. Yes, I know I only have 350, but that is a limiting mindset and I don't stand for that, okay? So go subscribe. This circle thing, it took me the entirety of day 31. There's no way to sugarcoat this. It is just pathetic and outright criminal. Still suffering on day 32, by the way. Now just working on the fencing for our little critters, but hey, I can finally put these boys where they belong. This is really a special moment. We have to appreciate a passage of life and time. It really is beautiful. Now, just to ruin the significance of natural selection and keep on crossbreeding these 2 cows until I have an army at my disposal for all my leather and milk needs. Also, I put these fellas in their own little pool at some point. They will now serve the rest of eternity here, swimming in circles for some reason. Turns out there's a way to make flint out of tough blocks, which I in fact did have, but for this I had to acquire 2 crushing wheels. So I was like, yeah, that sounds simple enough, I'll just do that. But it wasn't. But I got distracted anyway by the arrival of my sheep, and can you guess where they were? Yes, they were above my mob farm again. New strategy this time, I'll use a boat to get everyone down from here, and that's exactly what happened. Breed, my friends, just keep breeding. Not only was the sheep a great thing to have, but this boyo sold lapis. And you already know I needed as much of that as I could get my hands on because soon enough, we're gonna start enchanting stuff. What is that, a new block? Oh yeah, that is exactly what I'm going to use. Not here, this doesn't work here. Enchanting table acquired, everyone, we did it. It only took us 34 days. After witnessing the birth of my first bookshelf, I of course had to procure a spot for such a magnificent thing, so I just built a little platform under the farm to house my enchanting room. You know what you should be doing right after getting your first bookshelf, right? It is to waste lapis and enchant all your gear with garbage enchantments. That's exactly what must be done. Alright, I was trying to get flint. Trying is the right word for sure, because it didn't work at all. As I said before, we need 2 crushing wheels, right? And something to power them. Since I had the materials to make what I need for the crushing wheel itself, I thought I'd just craft that and boom, I'll have the flint I need. But what I didn't consider is that I need a mechanical crafting bench to even build this crushing wheel, and it requires brass, which requires zinc or something, and I can't really get zinc from these blocks. No. So if you think about it, I can't use the crushing wheels. So moving on. Did I get annoyed with the traders who didn't offer me gravel? That would be a yes. But we can't leave the day at such a low point, so for some extra spice I went to replace the entirety of my enchantment chamber with the checkered blocks. It really cheered me up, so don't question my choices. Yet another tough day for the books here was day 36. When a Minecrafter like me sees a zombie villager in my mob farm, I instantly imagine an infinite supply of emeralds, so on and so forth. But here, it only took almost dying to a creeper and a full day wasted to realize I don't have any blaze rods, so these guys are kind of useless to me. Breeding, making mashed potatoes, sorting chests. Moving on. I spent the next day just mining my life away, as we all do sometimes. Actually, you ever think about how playing Minecraft has been the best time of your life and how much happiness this one game has built for you? Yeah, I sometimes think about that. I was feeding more cows and sheep because I needed the leather for books. Did not know I could make leather from all these stacks of rabbit hide I had in my chest. From whichever mob here dropped rabbit hide, because of course that makes so much sense again. I thought there are 2 zombie villagers in my mob farm.
I literally think there's 2 zombie villagers in there.
That's what I thought. Killed every mob except them 2. And thought I should keep them alive for as long as I can, till I, eventually get gravel from one of these traders. So all I could do now is keep digging and repeatedly find traders on top of my mob farm not offering me gravel. Well, at least they offered their souls. Oh, who lives in a pineapple under the sea? I'm getting angry. Yep, still no gravel, but there was a chicken. So I secured the chicken. It was now my sacrificial chicken, just like this sacrificial trader. And so I just went back to mining again. Misery was setting in at a rapid enough pace to where I thought, they wouldn't care if I cheated in, right? I'll just spawn it in somehow, who'll know, right? But no, I'm better than that. I can't fail my loyal viewers like that. I cannot let that happen. My rage is building day by day. Where is the flint? And I had this whole internal, well, not so internal dialogue about how I can't get brass to make the mechanical crafter.
Mechanical crafter. Because I can't get brass. So, it's disgusting.
And immediately got back to breeding my animals. Actually, I did more killing than breeding, now that I recall what happened. Oh, a wandering trader. Wonder what's he wondering about. Get it? You like the joke? I'm gonna let you guess if this guy gave me any good trades. And how about this one? At least this fine specimen of the Visiting Trader Guild offered me some lapis. I really do appreciate him for that. Why was I still keeping these 2 zombie villagers alive? Who knows, man? Who knows? If one more trader doesn't offer me gravel, I will light them on fire. Yeah, but nothing really happened on this day, so let's move on. On day 45, I finally caught a glimpse of a way I could potentially get blaze powder and blaze rods. We call it the Crushing Macerator. Macerator, Mace Raider, whatever. But we will return to this a bit later. I also crafted this thing that looked like a regular pickaxe. Thing is, it's not a regular pickaxe, and
What the?
Bought some pigs too. Very important to have pigs in your world. And you know what we do with these traders when they are no longer useful to us? I had upgrades on my agenda, so that's what we did. Upgraded the pickaxe so I can mine faster. It really is magnificent. Ah, my pigs are here. Let's go. There never spawned animals anywhere on ground level, by the way. I'm very happy. Also, I did some selective unbreeding, was eager to get me some of that leather for books. Again, I could have crafted the rabbit hide I had in my chest into leather, but I did not know that at the time. Also, I made the pickaxe auto smelt whatever I mined, so that was fun. Found out that you can smelt obsidian into this flaming obsidian pretty much, which I don't think is in vanilla Minecraft, but it does look cool.
That's pretty cool.
Day 47 was spent adding yet another branch to my island. We'll call this the nature platform. That's pretty much all it was. It's going to have trees, some animals, a little pond, and a whole lot more trees. You'll see what I mean by that later. This one took a bunch of experimenting, but I did finally come up with something that didn't look abysmal. Unsure when I purchased these beehives, but there they go. Hopefully they enjoy their new home. They did not enjoy their new home. They slowly floated down into the void, but I don't think I caught any of that on film, so just take my word for it. And then I spent ages trying to get Silk Touch shovel so I can get some grass, and so I filled in my little nature platform with grass blocks. Did some bone mealing and started scheming once more. You know, I somehow forget I buy things. Here's a sniffer egg. Why? Yes, I will birth myself a new friend and call him Sniffy. Right, so this is kind of funny. The trader offered me sand, which I took because I remembered I wanted to replace my glass roof with stained glass. What's funny is that as I started the replacing process, I realized we could have just used the Silk Touch shovel to break the glass and then stain it. I'm a bit sad, okay? I'm a little bit sad. So day 50 was spent doing exactly that. Replaced the whole roof, and you know what? It actually looked a lot better. Now I will improve upon this, so don't worry if it doesn't look quite finished yet. Also, we have our first unwelcome visitors on the island itself. Freaking losers. And look, it's Sniffy. He's free. Well, not very free, but free enough. Yeah, run, buddy. Run. Now, to balance out my nature-loving tendencies, I had to make an industrial forge right in front of my nature platform. So I spent the day preparing all the blocks I needed for this build. Turns out you can make stone paths. How cute. Anyway, industrialism. Industrialism feeds progress. Our society needs more coal-burning furnaces, more asbestos in our walls. Truly, this is a magnificent thing to have. I'm not sure what happened on day 54. I kind of just felt like expressing myself and crafting extra diamond armor and placing it down. All my friends and foes could see my power and wealth. Yes, this serves no purpose other than just looking fancy. That's pretty much it. What we need is gold armor with diamond trim. Yep, makes sense to me. I'm getting angry. More and more angry by each day that passes on this mortal coil. I mined through my depression the entire day. I really did. It took like all day. I just stared at that one block. Oh, look who finally figured out you can make leather from rabbit hide 56 days in. There's no saving me at this point. But hey, I have all these bookshelves now. So we'll just enchant level 1 enchantments onto books. That's what all these bookshelves are used for. Good. How have I even made it this far is beyond me. Oh my lord. It's gravel. I got so happy I made a magic stick that replaces blocks. Actually kind of cool, but I'm getting very distracted. What I did need though is the obsidian for my portal, actually. So give me those blocks. Nether portal, nether portal, nether lapis. Oh my lord. Thank you, thank you. Wait a second. There's nothing here. There's nothing in the nether. I really wanted to cry. I really thought about shedding a tear at this point. Like, what? Like, how do you just put nothing in the nether, man? How am I supposed to get my blaze rods? How? Explain, Minecraft. Explain it to me. Well, it was day 59 now, so I thought it's best I focus on cleaning up my forge a little. Kind of left it half unfinished though, but hey, I made another magic stick. This one lets me fill in blocks. Also very cool, but did I use these much? No. Also, I'm not sure you remember, but I did say that I'd find out diamond armor isn't the highest tier of armor you can craft in this mod. Turns out there's like a bunch more tiers, but the only one I could really get my hands on was emerald armor and emerald tools. It's ever so slightly better than diamond, but if I'm gonna be rich, I need to be very rich. I even gave it some enchantments. And after a little more XP grinding, I got this pickaxe with some actually pretty good enchantments. It's missing some, but you can't have everything you want in this world without putting in effort. I'm officially addicted to enchanting, by the way. It resembles gambling a bit too much, but look at this sword. Isn't that cool? We did have to fix the axolotl pond though, because the water was seeping through the floor, and that was giving me major OCD. On day 63, I realized I don't actually have a house for myself. Sure, I live in this open plan area, but I didn't actually have somewhere I can call my own. So the plotting began. Blocks were crafted and picked out carefully. The idea was written down on a piece of paper in front of me, and the building had to begin. But first, I need wood. Okay, now I can begin. Building time-lapse time. Stop! Wait, flower break. I need some pink dye. Give me a second. So my creativity was bursting at the seams. This whole build is pretty much inspired by some sort of magical scepter with a glowing crystal in the middle of it. That's why I wanted the dye, so I can stain some glass around the crystal to give it that glowing effect. Initially, I did choose to use amethyst for its core, but later switched it out for the burning obsidian block because it had the shiny that I was looking for. Now the problem really was just figuring out how to be able to get up there without having to make some sort of stupid ladder in the middle of my path. And initially the design was pretty much a ladder. Actually, it was a ladder anyway. So, and it looked just as stupid as it would have if it went all the way down. So I'm not really sure why I did that. But see, I had found out that there's this movement mechanic in this mod that allows me to jump, then crouch in the air, and then after landing and releasing the crouch button, I just go higher than normal. Very tricky and annoying to get down, but if done right, I could get up the ladder. So I just figured I'll leave it like that for now. So I know it's ugly, and I know it takes me about 5 tries to get up there, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose of even having this tower in the first place, but what can you do, you know? So I placed some chests at the top to store some items and pretty much left. Do we ever come back up here and store a single item in any of these chests? Well, not exactly. No. This guy sells shulker shells. I'll grab some of those. Don't mind if I do. My first shulker box, and I didn't even have to visit the end. How cool is that? Now, just that it turns out that this mod is getting better and better by the second. I made my shulker box have like a gazillion item slots. And that is pretty rad. But I placed like 5 things in there, so I didn't really use it for anything really, but it was cool. Day 69. I figured I want to make my own farm look more like a greenhouse, so I did that, and it turned out okay. Not very proportional, but fine either way. I wasn't done there either, since I had some trouble with a few bad guys spawning on parts of my island. What I needed was some sort of light around here. I found this bug where if you place an item frame and a pressure plate on top of a redstone lamp and step on the pressure plate, it stays pressed down, like forever, which in turn gives you the chance to make very sleek and cool lamp designs. My sleek and cool lamp design was 2 fence posts and a lamp on top. So I covered the entire island in those and felt almost like a Minecrafter. Made more mashed potatoes and called it a day after some mob farm cleaning. I kept looking at my animal farm and thinking that it looks completely pathetic and needs to be completely redone. So we added arches along the entire farm. Was it as complicated as it seems? Yes it was, and so time consuming that I do not even want to talk about it. And you may think, oh, it's the next day and he's on to doing bigger and better things, but no. I will come back to that farm again. I just have ADHD, so planting trees on top of my trees felt like a more noble cause. And I have to say, it looks fantastic. Not as fantastic as this roof is going to be. Wow, I literally can't stop getting distracted. But look, I'm all for making this place look better each day. Oh, he must have done something out of the ordinary on day 74. No. Chimney. Big chimney with smoke. And back to farm. There does come a time in everyone's life where they start discovering new opportunities and changing their course of action to better accommodate for the opportunities. I remembered about the crushing machine thing. What if I just crush a whole bunch of netherrack and get blaze rods? I mean, sure, there's only a 5% chance a block of netherrack drops a blaze rod, but isn't that a chance I'd be willing to take? I spent 2 entire days mining up netherrack and placing it in the crusher, which is powered by this furnace thing, and I have not gotten a single piece. Not one blaze rod. This was a waste of time. To add to my misery, look what happened. I placed down my shulker box, then broke it. The item pops up and I assume I've picked it up. When I go to look into the chest, it's not in my inventory. And when I go back, it's not on the ground. My shulker box is gone. So guess what? I'm gonna build a trash can, or a trash chest. Just trash, okay? I'm building trash because I've too many items and my mob farm's being clogged up. I can't take it anymore. But let me explain how this trash system is going to work. There is a chest that feeds into 2 hoppers that feed into a dropper, which then spits out an item every tick, being powered by this redstone clock, onto one of these burning obsidian blocks, which turns out burns items when they fall on top of it. So a simple system, but not a simple build for some reason. Oh my god, it actually works. Something I made actually works. There's only one downside to this. It is very loud. And at the time, I didn't even know because I play Minecraft without sound most of the time. So you can only imagine that for most of the recording that follows this exact build, I forgot to shut it off. All the clips near my chests and bed are accompanied by a very, very loud ticking noise the entire time. But I can't be upset because the thing works and it works really well. Okay, it might not be super quick at destroying stacks of items, but it's pretty cool and I can't lie. Day 80, I mined my life away until something hit me and I figured I want to make a build a big build. But there's one problem, it will be made of wool. You might be saying, oh well, what's the problem, Muffin? I thought you had sheep. I do have sheep, but if I were to shear these sheep, they would never grow back any of their wool, because currently they live on top of a hardwood floor. So can you just take a guess what I did the entire day? I've never been more upset by animals in my life, by the way. Why do you walk near me when I'm trying to work? Just please stop. I can't do that. Peter needs to look away for this one. I'm fuming. Only having 18 days left in the video, I started wondering if I'd be able to finish this giant build in time, but I like a challenge. First, we must acquire pink wool, and a lot of it. I really do mean a lot, by the way. Only way to do this is to start breeding pink sheep. Now, I already knew how to acquire pink dye, so that was no problem. It's time to grind. Every sheep here is going to be pink from now on. The next couple of days turned into breeding, slaughtering my cattle that I had no use for, and shearing till my blocky fingers hurt. Though we did finally have enough to start working on this build. If you haven't paid close attention to the thumbnail of the video, you wouldn't know exactly what we're building, but if you have, well, good job, you have eyes. And so begins the build. Initially, I had to map out how large I need to make it so that I'd be able to make it proportional. This is important because of what we're building. I really did underestimate the size of this build at first. That can also be seen by me spending a little too much time in the sheep enclosure, shearing sheep literally as they're eating. I need your wool more than you do. You don't understand. I made these cool obsidian shears, hoping they'd give me like double the wool or something. That was not the case. It seems like they weren't losing any durability, so honestly, that's just as good. It would be super annoying to have to go make new shears every 5 minutes. The process was simply shear, build, sleep, and repeat. I was scared the monsters were going to start spawning on the build if I were to be working through the night, so to avoid that, I went to bed as soon as the sun started setting. However, this was also counterintuitive because it gave me less and less time to finish the build. As I already said, I had to keep adjusting the size of the build because my calculations were not precise at all. I was off by pretty much double the amount each direction. Oh, and the shearing. God, it was awful. If this was real life, I think the sheep would have had an uprising against me. But too bad they are made of blocks and not real. Give me your sweaters. 8 days into this project and it was still not even close to being done. I don't know how I will make this work in time, but guess what? It's time to build the face of this giant statue. And yes, it's a pink sheep. I bet most of you already knew or literally went to check the thumbnail again, so this shouldn't be a surprise. A giant pink sheep. One of the most elusive Minecraft creatures ever. See it as a pillar of evolution and even a beacon for hope, because nothing brings you more joy than seeing a pink sheep out in the wilderness of the Minecraft lands. I didn't record day 91, but it was no different. On day 92 though, I was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The head of my beast was finished. Now all I had to do was give it some legs, which turned out to be a little bit more complex than I imagined. That looks alright to me. Just gotta make 3 more of those. By the end of day 93, I had finished the last leg. It only took, like, way too long. So now I've got 7 days left to work on the final project, and I'm not sure where the time went. I was met by some unhappy visitors the next morning. Guess they didn't appreciate my piece of art floating in the sky. Honestly, a bunch of losers. So guess what? In spite of these angry mobs, I planted some bamboo. That'll show them. Why am I crafting so many sets of diamond armor? What is the purpose? Have I gone mad? Okay, so I have gone mad. Oh, the last days of this challenge I'm spending on displaying my wealth. Because why? I guess the whole idea was to build a big double beacon, meaning it would be like a beacon on top of beacon, but flipped upside down, so it would resemble more of a sand clock, I guess. Well, anyway, I tried getting a fortune pickaxe so I could get some more valuable blocks for this build, since I thought, you know, why build it from just one resource if I can build it from all of them? But I put together 2 pickaxes and lost the fortune enchantment. Not sure why it even let me do it, but I was very upset now. But there is no time to be upset. Look at my epic beacon that I'm building. There's only one problem. After building all the layers, I realized I need exactly 4 blocks in the middle between the 2 beacons. Slight issue being I thought I'd put netherite blocks in there. Now, if you don't know, these blocks cost so much ancient debris that it is pretty much never worth it to even try. Slight issue is that I thought, oh well, I have so much extra ancient debris, I'll just quickly craft them together with like 1 day left in the challenge. Turns out I did not have anywhere near enough ancient debris, by the way, so I think I was missing more than half a block's worth of ancient debris, which comes out to like 20 pieces. Of course, I need to make it into netherite ingots first, so it was kind of a race against time. I literally can't leave this block for the entire day, or the next day even. So I mined throughout the night, just praying I have enough time to get all the debris. Thankfully, my brain is larger than that of average humans and most apes. I remembered coming across the crushing machine thing. Turns out you have like a 10% chance to get 2 ancient debris from 1 block, so guess what? I'll take those chances. Surely it will be better than the 5% chance of getting blaze powder. And it was. 2 of the ancient debris blocks that I placed in there gave me 1 extra. Not very likely this happens when you really do the math on it, but sure freaking helped me. And just by the end of the night of day 100, I had enough to finish my double beacon. We did it. We actually did it. Yeah, so subscribe for more. 100k by the end of 2024. That rhymed. Alright, goodbye.